Haley Stuckey, and this is my presentation of the case study of my leadership. I decided to pull 6 different sources in and pull out the main thing that I learned from each source. So the first one is implement and sustain change. Quote, having new vision is necessary but not sufficient. New leadership skills are also needed in order to implement and sustain change, end quote. Up next is that balance corporate legitimacy while also existing outside the corporate environment. Definitions of public health leadership vary from the idea that it includes commitment to the community and the value it stands for, to the argument that public health leaders differ from leaders in other sectors as they are required to balance corporate legitimacy while also existing outside of the corporate environment, end quote. The CDC also has a program that is called the National Leadership Academy for Public Health, and it provides, quote, ongoing leadership training and support to leaders that work across sectors to address community health issues, end quote. I included this one in here because I just think it's awesome that such a big corporation has this program for public health leaders. Learning from failures was something else that I saw quite often in different sources, specifically from the pandemic, and learning that the difficulty of behavior change during the pandemic, but learning from it as well is what a public health leader does, is what I got from all of those. Engaging in the community is necessary for successful behavior changes. Inequity is an ongoing theme in public health systems. COVID vaccines were a big example of that when it came to scheduling and availability and dosages. Skills that are needed to make public health leaders effective. According to Tulane University, quote, public health leadership involves service and cooperation. Like other government and nonprofit leaders, public health leaders should see themselves as public servants, including individuals who work for the public in the public's best interest, end quote. And the characteristics of effective leadership are accuracy, transparency, honesty, responsiveness, accountability, teamwork, networking, clear communication, and information management. Personal leadership style. We will be looking at 4 different self-assessments that I use to identify my thinking style, learning style, leadership style, and emotional intelligence. So first up is my learning style. So for the learning style, I used the VARK model, which looks at 4 categories: visual, auditory, reading/writing, and kinesthetic. So what is multimodal learning? Multimodal is what I ended up getting as my results. It is a, quote, instructional approach that utilizes multiple sensory modalities to enhance the learning experience. It recognizes that individuals have different learning styles and preferences, end quote. This model has been said to be oversimplified in learning styles, which, as we know, learning styles can drastically differ between people. Up next is my thinking style. So for my thinking style, I got the journalist style. And this means that I am open to new experiences, but I'm also skeptical, which makes me difficult to trick or manipulate. It also means that I am intuitive. I, quote, size up the situations quickly and stick to my judgments, end quote. And once I've made them, I definitely do stick to them. I am subjective. People and stories are more interesting to me than facts and figures, and I tend to like the idea overall rather than get into the details, as my mind is more qualitative than quantitative. I am carefree and live in the moment, and I think this style fit me very, very well. The main leadership style that I received was the composer. It means I have the ability to blend creativity with logic and generate new ideas. I also set clear boundaries and I'm most comfortable when working alone. Collaboration is difficult for me at times, as it can be difficult for me to delegate tasks to others when I want them done a specific way. This quiz also provided 2 supplemental styles that may not be what I use all the time, but can be used in certain situations and dynamics. The provider is the supplemental style first, and provides 2 very strong desires, which is, quote, lead from the front and take care of people around you, end quote. The Energizer was the second supplemental style that I received, and it says that, quote, know how to create and articulate a strategic vision, end quote. Lastly is emotional intelligence. This is a very important part of being a leader. This assessment had 4 main categories that included self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. Self-awareness is the core of emotional intelligence. And surprisingly, all 4 of these categories were within 1 or 2 points of each other after the finishing of the assessment, so it seemed that I was pretty balanced on emotional intelligence. Practice is very, very important, and I believe all 4 results of self-assessments were very accurate and described traits that I use every single day. Self-awareness and self-management, as shown in the emotional intelligence every day, is necessary for my everyday work day. My first instance of using self-awareness is that I am a laboratory tech at St. Francis Hospital, and I specialize in bone marrows. So self-awareness is important in this aspect as I interact with many different doctors, nurses, PAs, and so understanding what mood they are in and how they operate and maybe what they need from me will help all of our days go smoothly. For instance, I work very closely with a pathologist there, and knowing and understanding what he expects, how he wants things organized, understanding what mood he's in, all help me with my workday and with his workday. Self-management is also a very important part of my job, as I am the only bone marrow tech on shift at the time that I am working, and I have many different tasks around the hospitals which require good time management and confidence in myself for work, as my supervisor is not with me much to check on me. So the public health leader. The leader that I chose is the National Institutes of Health, or NIH. I picked this organization because they are very well renowned and have very reliable sources. Also, who hasn't heard of NIH? We've all had assignments that have utilized the NIH website. And I had to include the mission statement of NIH as it's what caused me to choose this organization. And they don't just seek knowledge, but they seek fundamental knowledge. So the mission statement is, NIH's mission is to seek fundamental knowledge about the nature and behavior of living systems and the application of that knowledge to enhance health, lengthen life, and reduce illness and disability. And I just think that's an amazing mission statement. So what makes the NIH a leader? So they are not only conducting their own research, but supporting others in doing their own research as well. Supporting others is just as important as supporting your own knowledge and understanding of the subjects. Like the composer, as I mentioned earlier, they use creativity and logic to get results, but they can also use the provider, as it is shown, by leading the way, as well as taking care of our communities by expanding knowledge. Being articulate and strategic in their articles as well as in their research is also something that I have seen in NIH. What leadership style does this leader reflect? Because of the variety of authors and content, I believe it reflects a variety of different leadership styles that I didn't have time to list them all. But we covered a lot of them during the semester. So how is this leader a role model for you when applying my own leadership style? They show that even though it's a large organization, reliability and empathy can be shown through projects, passion, and people. Nothing is too small to investigate, and all communities matter. Benefits and challenges. Every organization has its benefits and its challenges. The leadership style of the composer can create a challenge for the NIH as they work best by themselves, and a lot of research is done in a collaborative style environment. Benefits of involving the provider leadership style is that they are deeply loyal and they want to take care of those around you. This style is also shown throughout different examples in the NIH. My leadership plan. How would I lead others to create an organizational vision? I would make sure that they have an idea to narrow it down and be specific. I would ask questions about how the other person believes their idea to become possible. I would help them lay out digestible goals to help them see the progress and help them create a full timeline of when we want this vision to be in effect. How would I empower others? I would encourage them to step out there, try new things, take on a new project. I would listen to their ideas and never just dismiss them even if they aren't feasible. This is where asking them to make the plan and see if it's possible comes in. I would also provide opportunity whenever I could in order to allow growth and building confidence. How would I foster collaboration to aid in decision making and achieving the vision? I would make sure to delegate roles in the beginning to allow for them to become comfortable when working together. I would hold a meeting with the team at least once a week. I would use this time to provide positive feedback and constructive criticism. I could also use this time for all of the team to bounce off ideas off each other in a productive way, of course. And different leadership styles means different thinking. Maybe part of a project could be done more efficiently, but the person working on it may have never seen it in that way. In conclusion, leadership in public health is so important. I have learned that it is important to know and understand your own leadership styles. There will be benefits to your own leadership skills and challenges as it won't fit every single situation. Always have a plan and know who else to pull in for it to be effective and efficient. Also understand that your specific leadership skills may not be the ones that should stand out, but may be useful as an underlying tone as well. Here are all of my references. Thank you for an amazing class. I have loved every minute of it.